The next one is affiliation or care. Another extremely important motivation for survival. So the first thing here is human beings are social animals. We need to live with other people. We need to live in groups. The reason for this is we depend on each other for survival. An example is when you think about 1,000 years ago, you had a tribe of people. Some people were responsible for farming, some people were responsible for hunting, some people were responsible for taking care of the children. Every person in this group had their own responsibilities so that the group of people could live with each other and could live good lives. It is extremely difficult to live alone, to have nobody else to care for you, nobody to look after you. If at that time they made you leave the group, we say exile. If they exiled you, if they asked you to leave and never come back to the group, it was certain that you were going to die because there was no way that you could do everything for yourself. Irene.
然后这一个机制也是一个让人们可以生存的机制，就是说比方说然后就是在很久很久以前嘛，然后人们是他们就因为人是那种群居动物，然后他们就是要互相一个就是人群在一起，一个团体，他们在一起才能生活的比较好。他们不能单独生活，是因为很久很久之前，人们是群居，然后分工合作，比如有人打猎，然后有些人他们种植一些什么作物，然后有些人照顾孩子。然后在那个时候，你没有办法一个人生存，因为你不能一个人干所有的事情，所以在就是那时候，如果你被就是别的人驱逐出那个部落，就你们自己群居的地方那个部落，你被驱逐出去，那么你肯定会死，因为你没有办法就是靠自己维持自己的生存，对，对。
A connection here again between, let's say, physical care and survival. Looking at babies, this is a very clear example. Babies have to be taken care of. They cannot survive. If you look at other animals, well, you know what? Let's not look at other animals. Let's look at human babies. The baby has to be cared for. Everything needs to be done for them. For the first 1, 2, 3, 4 years, it's impossible for them to take care of themselves. They have to have physical care. There was maybe let's say 100, 150 years ago, it was discovered that if you do not hold a baby and if you do not touch a baby, you can feed the baby, maybe you can look at the baby, but if you do not touch and hold a baby, within a few weeks, the baby is going to die. That is how important physical care or physical affiliation is for human beings. Irene.
典型的一个例子就是人类的婴儿，人类的婴儿必须就是要有人照顾他们才能活下来。比方说你看一些动物，那些小羚羊，它生下1个小时就能自己走这样，但是人类的小孩不行，他必须得有人去照顾他，然后给他食物，然后这样他才能长大。然后好像在几百年之前，就是有一个这样的说法，就是如果一个婴儿你不去碰他，你不去抱着他，但是你照常给他喂食物啊，然后你给他穿他有衣服穿，有食物吃，但是没有人去触碰他，就一直躺在那里，然后这个婴儿他就会死。所以说，就是来自于别的人的关心，对于人类的婴儿来说是很重要的。
Another example here is psychological care or psychological affiliation. Human beings need to communicate with other people. We need for other people to support us. We need for other people to encourage us, especially children. It builds confidence and it builds self-esteem. It allows them to feel good about themselves so that they can become more responsible for themselves. When mothers, or let's say when parents ignore their children and they do not give their children psychological care, they don't support their children, they don't encourage their children, these children, as they grow older, tend to have psychological problems and find it very hard to live normal lives. Irene.
还有一种照顾是，比如说物理上照顾，是心理上的关心，然后这种关心可以让孩子获得一些类似自信这种东西。然后，比方说一对父母，他从小他不关心自己的孩子，然后他们不支持他，不鼓励他，然后对他照顾也很少的话，这个小孩他长大以后，他就会有心理上的问题，然后他会发现他很难去和普通人一样正常的生活。
All right. Sexual desire. Another very important thing that the hypothalamus is responsible for. Why? Because it's directly related to survival. Now, we know as human beings, we can only live for a certain number of years, 70, 80, 100, 120. After a certain number of years, after a certain amount of time, we as human beings are going to die. We know that. But the hypothalamus ensures that a part of us must survive. Our DNA represents a very large part of who we are. Sexual desire is important because it allows us to survive in a different way. It allows us to pass our DNA on into the future. By doing this, by having sex with someone and creating new life, a part of our DNA survives. Therefore, we survive for another 70, 80, 120 years. All of your ancestors, your parents, grandparents, their grandparents have survived because you are alive. Irene.
然后这个夫妻的这个东西，其实也是生存的，为了生存。因为人类只能生存几十年的时间嘛，或者顶多100年或者多一点。然后到了70、80年以后，我们就会死。然后人类是知道这一点的，但是这个sexual desire 是帮助繁衍的，然后通过繁衍，人类可以把自己的 DNA 就是传到下一代，也就是说70年后，你死了，但是你的 DNA 的一部分在你的下一代身上存在，那么也就意味着你在以另外一种方式活着，所以你的肉体死了，但是你 DNA 通过一代又一代的繁衍传承下去，那你就是在以另外一种方式一代又一代的活着，然后所以在某种意义上你活着就代表你的父亲、母亲上面的曾曾祖父、什么曾曾曾祖母都活着，这样他们以 DNA 的形式在你的身体里这样活着。
The hypothalamus is responsible for making us feel sexual desire for certain people. But we don't have sexual desire for everyone that we meet. we feel attracted to certain people and we feel no attraction for different kinds of people. Now, there are many reasons for this. One of them is related to health. When we see other people, very quickly we are deciding whether the person is healthy or not, just based on their physical appearance. This is why attractive people, or I should say beautiful people, handsome people, we often feel that because one of the main things is that we think they are healthy. We find that we have sexual desire for people who are healthy because we understand, a part of us, the hypothalamus understands that if we have sex with a healthy person, the DNA has a higher chance of surviving. The baby will not die after it is born. It will probably not have any disease. It will probably be able to live a long and healthy life. And our DNA will be able to survive further because the child will also be attractive to somebody else. Irene.
但是也不就是说，我们不是对每一个人都有这个性欲的，就是你对某一些人，你会觉得你对他们有性欲，他们对你有吸引力，但是你对另外一些人就不会。这是有很多因素决定的，其中一个就是说，这个人他是否健康。当我们看到一个人的时候，我们会立刻判断出他到底是健康还是不健康。所以，比方说我们遇到一些漂亮的或者说英俊的人，他们会更容易对我们产生吸引力，因为我们认为他很健康。然后和一些健康的人，就和他们一起繁衍后代的话，我们的那个就是孩子会有那个机会更大，他会是一个健康的孩子，他能就是他能活更久，然后这样对。
All right. Thank you, Irene. Thank you guys very much.